Dad. Our story begins long ago, on a bright Sunday morning in Jerusalem.
Mother, I just heard that Jesus is going to be teaching nearby today. The people are already on their way to hear him. Oh, Mom, please can't I go?
Oh, Timothy, you said you'd look after Nathan for me today.
Can you come with me? I'll take care of him and make sure he doesn't get lost. Please?
Oh, all right, Tim. I really like to have you go because I can actually see some improvement in your behavior since you've been listening to Jesus' teaching.
Thanks. I know it pleases him when I'm good. But I better get going. Where's Nathan?
He's out in the backyard.
Hey, Nathan, guess what? We're going to see Jesus.
Really? Oh, boy. And about an hour later, Timothy and Nathan were listening enthralled as Jesus taught.
2 men went up to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, the other a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed like this with himself. "O God, I do thank thee that I am not like the rest of mankind, greedy, dishonest, impure, or even like that tax collector over there. I fast twice every week. I give away a 10th part of all my income." But the tax collector stood in a distant corner, scarcely daring to look up to heaven, and with a gesture of despair said, "God, have mercy on a sinner like me." I assure you that he was the man that went home justified in God's sight rather than the other one. For everyone who sets himself up as somebody will become nobody, and the man who makes himself nobody will become somebody.
You're one of Jesus' disciples. Please, let the Master bless my little ones.
I want his blessing on my child, too.
No. Don't you see that Jesus is busy teaching the adults? He can't be bothered with these children. He has no time for them.
You must let the little children come to me, and you must never prevent their coming. The kingdom of heaven belongs to little children like these.
Thank you, Master.
He's blessing those other children. May I go too? Of course, Nate. I think I'll go too.
And so Timothy and Nathan made their way to Jesus. And later...
Mother, Jesus touched us. He invited all the children to come to him.
And he took me right up in his arms and asked God to bless me. You mean he talked to you?
Yes, and he...
Come over here and sit down. I want to hear all about it.
Oh, Mother, what a day we've had.
And then, on a bright Sunday morning, not too long afterwards...
Hey, Tim, Dan and me are going fishing in my uncle's boat. You want to come along?
Oh, David, yes. I'd love to. But my grandmother's sick, and my mother told Nathan and me to take this basket of food over to her. I'm awful sorry, but I guess I'd better not.
That's tough, Tim. Well, see you later.
Okay, Dave. Have fun. Oh, shucks, Nate. Wish I could have gone.
I know, Tim, but I like going to see Graham.
Me too, but... Hey, listen, what's all that noise? Coming up the main street.
The waiting potbellies are shouting.
Somebody's riding down the middle of the road. Why, Jesus!
What are they saying?
That an errand was somewhat delayed, and 2 young voices joined in the chorus of praise. What a thrill it was to see their friend so honored by all. Why, it seemed that the whole city was shouting his praises. Then on Friday of that week, Tim finally got to go fishing with David in his uncle's boat. They left very early in the morning, and Tim was really proud of his catch. As the boys arrived home a little later that morning...
Oh, Dave, isn't that one a beauty? Boy, it's the biggest fish I've ever caught. With all those fish, we're sure going to have a good supper tonight.
Yeah, our family's going to eat pretty well, too. Well, here's my house. See you later, Tim.
Okay, Dave, and thanks for letting me go with you. Oh, boy, just wait till Mom sees what I've got.
Oh, Timmy, they were all shouting, "Crucify him, crucify him," down the square by the palace. Oh, Tim, what are they going to do to me if he's my friend?
What's who, going to do? Crucify whom? I don't know what you're all talking about. But, Nate, just look at the fish I caught. Aren't they beauties?
But, Tim, they were talking about Jesus. They're going to crucify him.
Tim, is that you?
Yes, Mother. Say, did you ever see such beautiful fish? All cleaned and ready to cook.
That's wonderful, Tim.
But what's Nathan talking about?
I don't really know, son. He went down to the square by the governor's palace this morning, and he's just come home all upset and excited. As near as I can figure out, he thinks that the governor Pilate is going to have Jesus crucified.
Oh, surely not. The Romans wouldn't crucify him. They only do that to criminals. Everyone knows that Jesus is no criminal.
But I saw him. Jesus was standing next to Pilate up on the balcony, and Pilate said, "What do you want me to do with this man?" And the crowd was all shouting, "Crucify him, crucify him." And all the priests were there and the scribes, and they kept shouting, "His blood be upon us." Oh, it was awful. Jesus looks so tired. Oh, Tim, please, let's go and see what they're doing.
Mother, may we go? I'm sure he must be mistaken, but...
Yes, Tim, take him along. We'll have no peace from him until he finds out that this is all a mistake.
So Timothy and Nathan set out for the governor's palace. As they walked along the palace wall, their attention was caught by the sound of loud voices coming from behind a heavy wooden door which was standing partially open.
Well, lads, we're really privileged today. This Jesus is called the King of the Jews. You mean we're going to be crucifying a king? That's the idea, lads. And since he's supposed to be a king, I think we ought to dress him more appropriately. Don't you think this purple robe is more fitting for a king?
Yes, indeed. Here, let me help you dress him.
All he needs a crown. I'll make one from the thorn bush. And a scepter. How about this long reed? That should be royal enough. Here, King, hold on to that. Here's his crown. These long thorns will keep it fastened securely. We can't have our king losing his beautiful crown. Terrific. Press it down firmly. Oh, my. Doesn't that have a regal look now? Hail, Great King. Yes, yes. Soldiers of Rome, where are your manners? You must kneel before our royal visitor. Hail to the King of the Jews!
Oh, Nathan, you were right. It is Jesus. They're doing to him. They're marking at him and making fun of him. Hey, do they? He is the king. I know, Nathan, but they don't know it or believe it. Look, they're spitting on him and hitting him with that reed.
Well, lads, I hate to break up the party. We've had such good fun with our royal guest. But all good times must come to an end. We've got to escort our guest out on that hill north of town called Calvary, I believe. These crucifixions take time, so let's get a move on. Take that purple robe off that man and put his own robe back on, and let's go.
He did say crucifixion.
Right, Nate.
Where are they taking him?
They said to Calvary. That's just outside the city wall.
I want to go too. They can't really crucify him, can they?
I hope not, Nate. Surely something will happen to stop them.
And so, with sinking heart, as yet unable to grasp the horrible truth, the boys joined the jeering mob that made its way through the street. Was it only 5 days ago that other crowd had so excitedly shouted, "Hosanna to the Son of David! Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord!" Weary and weak, from lack of food and sleep, and suffering from the beating he had received, Jesus stumbled and fell under the tremendous weight of the cross. The soldiers grabbed a man from the crowd and made him pick up the cross. Then on they walked through the streets of Jerusalem, out the city gate, and up a little hill called Calvary. There the boys watched in anguish and horror as their beloved friend was nailed to a cruel wooden cross, which was then stood upright and dropped in place between two other crosses.
Oh, Tim, are they just going to leave him there to die?
I guess so, Nathan.
All right, Great King. If you're the King of the Jews, save yourself.
He saved others, but he can't save himself.
Look at that sign over his head. It says, "This is the King of the Jews."
Say, King, those two thieves are fine company for you there on the Christ, save yourself and us too.
How do you dare mock him, seeing we're being crucified exactly the same way as he is? And we deserve our punishment, but he hasn't done anything wrong. Lord, when you come into your kingdom, remember me.
Today you shall be with me in paradise.
It's gotten so dark. What time is it?
I'm sure it's just noontime, but it's almost as dark as midnight.
I'm scared. And, oh, Timmy, it's so awful. I wish those people would leave him alone.
Me too. Did you see those soldiers arguing about who'd get to keep his clothes? They finally settled it by casting lots.
I think they're terrible.
You said to destroy the temple, and in 3 days you raise it up again. Now save yourself. If you are the Christ, the Son of God, come down from the cross.
Why doesn't he come down? He is the Christ. He is the Son of God. Tim, if he wanted to, couldn't he come down?
Yes, I'm sure he could. We've seen him heal all kinds of diseases, and he even raised some people from the dead.
If he can come down, why doesn't he?
I don't know, Nate. I just don't know.
And so for several hours the two boys stood on the hillside, watching the beloved figure on the central cross, looking at the little group of Jesus' loved ones, and listening to the jeers of the mocking crowd, not knowing what to do or think. Then all of a sudden they heard,
My God, why have you forsaken me? It is finished. Father, into your hands I commend my spirit.
Truly this man was the Son of God.
He's dead.
Oh, Tim. Tim, he was my friend. He was so kind and gentle.
We'd better go home now, Nate. Mom will be worrying about us.
But, Tim, why did they kill him? Why did they let him crucify? Why?
thus 2 broken-hearted boys, as well as 11 disciples, Mary, the mother of Jesus, and the little group of Jesus' friends, left the little hill called Calvary. They were all desolate, uncomprehending, filled with despair. Indeed, this was the blackest day in all of history, for Jesus Christ, the Son of God, had been crucified by a band of Roman soldiers. But the answer to the anguished question was not yet clear in their minds. They didn't realize that this was the whole purpose of his coming. This is why he was born as a tiny babe in Bethlehem, so that he, as a perfect, sinless man, could bear sin's punishment for sinful, helpless humanity. They didn't know that during those awful hours of darkness, he had been separated from God his Father by the unutterable weight of the sin of the world. Timothy and Nathan had left the little hill of Calvary late Friday afternoon with tears blinding their eyes. They had just seen their beloved friend, the Lord Jesus, crucified on a cruel Roman cross. He had been crucified by a band of jeering Roman soldiers, while a crowd of Pharisees, scribes, and priests had stood by mocking him. Later, with broken hearts, the boys had sobbed out their story to their mother. After asking around at the synagogue the next day, she found out that a man by the name of Joseph of Arimathea had taken Jesus' body from the cross for burial in a new tomb. The boys immediately wanted to go see Joseph's tomb, but since it was the Sabbath, their mother had to say no. But the next morning, long before dawn...
Timmy, are you awake? Yeah, Nate. Seems like I've been awake for ages. I keep thinking about Jesus.
Me too. I can't sleep anymore, even if it is still dark.
Let's get up and go see Joseph's tomb in the garden.
Mom said we could go today.
I've been thinking the same thing, Nate. Okay, let's go.
Good. cold. Are these your clothes or mine? Oh, they're mine. But where's my belt?
I don't know, Nate, but those must be my sandals you're putting on, because these are too small for me.
It's awful dark, Tim.
It'll soon be light enough. Let's grab something for breakfast on the way out.
Ouch! Oh, I missed the door.
Shh, Nate. There's no need to wake Mother so early.
I didn't mean to, but it hurt.
We've got to get something to eat. Where's the bread? Oh, here. Good. There are 2 rolls left. These and a handful of figs ought to do us for now.
Put them in this bag, and I'll hold it while you open the door. You'll be a clever sure as I open it.
Okay. Come on out. Now to close it. There. Now I can take the food sack.
Here you go, Tim.
Thanks. This cool morning air smells so fresh and clean.
Yeah, it does, Tim. But who was it that buried Jesus' body?
A man named Joseph of Arimathea. They say that secretly Joseph was a disciple of Jesus, and that late Friday afternoon he went to Governor Pilate and asked for permission to bury Jesus' body.
And the governor said he could?
Yep. Joseph had prepared a cave for his own tomb someday, and when Jesus was crucified, I guess he figured that his tomb was something he could give to the Lord.
I'm glad somebody took care of him.
Me too, but we better turn her here to get to the gate. Boy, just look at that sky.
The stars sure are bright. But just think, Tim, Jesus can't see them anymore.
I know, Nathan, but look over there in the east. The morning star is just rising.
Uh-huh. But I wish that old son would hurry and get up. It must be awful early.
It is. Look, the city gate isn't even open yet. We'll have to go out the little door in the wall. I've never been up before gate opening time.
Where's the door we go out?
It's right here, just at the side of the gate.
You know, I kind of like being up so early and going out that funny little door in the wall.
I'm glad the gatekeeper didn't stop us.
I didn't even see a gatekeeper.
Shh, there's looking the other way. But now we've got to find that garden where Jesus' tomb is.
Do you know where it is?
I'm pretty sure I do, Nate, because a long time ago, Dave and I went exploring around here. They said that it's the garden right near Calvary, and you know where that is.
I don't think I'll ever forget that place. Oh, Tim, it was so awful there Friday. But what's the tomb like?
Well, it's a cave in the rock, and we should recognize it because after Joseph prepared Jesus' body, they rolled a huge stone in front of the doorway.
Hey, what happened to the road? It's gotten real near all of a sudden.
No, it hasn't, Nate. We just turned off onto a path that would take us right into the garden. Here, help me with this gate, will you?
What gate? It's so dark. Oh, yeah. Are you sure this is the right place?
Sure, I'm sure. It's the only garden right near Calvary. And if the tomb is where I think it is, it should be right over there.
Who's that?
This seems like a long night.
How much longer till dawn, Lucius?
I don't know, Claudius.
I just wish I were in my nice, comfortable bed right now.
That sounds great. But like good soldiers of Rome, here we stand. On duty at the snap of the governor's fingers.
Soldiers in Rome?
What are they doing here?
I assure you that if it weren't for the hope of a promotion soon, I'd have found some way out of this crazy assignment.
Of all things to be guarded, this is certainly the most ridiculous.
I've guarded many a man in my day,
Both good and bad. But this is the first time I've guarded a dead man.
what in the world possessed Pilate to set a watch over a tomb?
Search me. It seems that some of those troublemaking Jews, priests and Pharisees, I believe, came to Pilate with some ridiculous story about resurrection from the dead.
Jesus is supposed to have said that he would rise from the dead on the third day.
That's a laugh. I'd like to see that. A dead man get up and walk.
That may not be as far-fetched as you may think. When this Jesus was alive, they said he did raise people from the dead.
Well, even if he did, that's hardly the same as raising yourself from the dead. Surely those Jews don't really believe that he'll rise, do they?
No, they're afraid some of his disciples will come and steal the body and say that he rose from the dead.
Good grief, what next?
Well, with that boulder parked in front of the doorway, sealed with the seal of the Roman government, and guarded by such noble soldiers of Rome as ourselves, it will indeed be, shall we say, difficult for anyone to get into that tomb or out.
Well, is Jesus' tomb all right?
With Roman soldiers guarding it. I sure hope they don't discover us. Nate, this bush should make pretty good cover, and since it still looks like it'll be a while before dawn, we might as well have something to eat.
That's a good idea. I'd forgotten all about breakfast, but suddenly, boy, am I hungry.
And so the boys made themselves comfortable under a large spreading bush, waiting only to see Jesus' tomb by daylight and wanting to say the last goodbye to their friend. Timothy and Nathan were totally unaware that they were about to witness the greatest, most thrilling event in all of history. Indeed, the most important event of all time. Little did they realize that the triumphant resurrection of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, would take place almost immediately before their very eyes. Dawn was just breaking as they finished the last of their figs, and in the dim light they were able to distinguish the arrival of several women. Then all of a sudden the earth beneath them began to shake violently. The women, Mary Magdalene, the other Mary, and Salome, had just opened the gate, and they were as frightened as the soldiers and the boys. Then suddenly the angel of the Lord came down from heaven, and in a flash the angel rolled away the stone from the door and sat on it.
An angel. His face is bright like the lightning, and his clothes are white as snow. Look at the soldiers. They're terrified. They've fallen flat on their faces. They must be scared to death.
The angel didn't seem to worry a bit about breaking the seal of Rome. Hey, there's Mary Magdalene. She just took one look into the tomb, and now she's running away.
The angel's speaking to the other women. Shh.
Do not be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here. He is risen, just as he said he would. Come and see the place where the Lord lay.
Nathan, did you hear that?
He said, Jesus is risen from the dead. You mean he's alive?
That's what the angel said.
Oh, do you suppose it's really true? Wow!
The women have gone into the tomb. Oh, they're coming out again.
Go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead.
They're leaving now. Oh, Tim, can Jesus really be alive again?
I sure hope so, Nate.
But where is he? I haven't seen him at all.
The angel said he's not here. I don't know where he is.
Now where did the angel go? I don't see him anymore either.
Someone's running into the garden. Why, it's John. And Peter.
Look, John's running faster than Peter. There. Now he stopped in the doorway.
Peter's running right past him and into the tomb.
Now John's going in too.
I wonder what they see. Oh, they're coming out now, but they look puzzled, like they don't know what they've really seen.
There they go. Oh, Tim, let's go look inside before anybody else comes. I want to find out what everybody else is seeing.
Okay, Nate, let's go. Quick.
Oh, it's dark.
Your eyes will get used to it in a minute.
It looks like a couch carved out of a rock, and there are just some living claws lying there.
That's what they wrapped his body in, and over there is the handkerchief that covered his head. But Nate, Jesus isn't here. He is gone, and you know that no one came and took his body because the tomb was still sealed when we arrived.
Oh, Timmy, let's stay in the garden a little longer. We may see Jesus yet.
I'm all for that, Nate. Let's get back under that bush.
We better be fast. Here comes Mary Magdalene again.
She's crying.
There's the angel again, too.
Why are you crying?
Because they have taken away my Lord, and I don't know where they have laid him.
She's turned away. Oh, Nate, there's Jesus.
Why are you crying? For whom are you looking?
Oh, sir, if you have carried him away, please tell me where you have put him.
Nate, she can't see through her tears. She must think he's the gardener.
Tell me, and I will take him away.
Mary.
Master!
Mary, do not try to hold me here now. I have not yet gone up to the Father. Go and tell my brothers that I am going up to my Father and your Father, to my God and your God.
Tim, he's gone. Just like that, gone.
And Mary's leaving too. She's not crying anymore.
I have seen the Lord. He lives.
Yes, Nate, Jesus is gone, but we've seen him too. He's alive. He is risen.
They couldn't keep him in the tomb. Let's go tell Mom. He's alive.
So Timothy and Nathan went flying home to tell their mother the wonderful news that Jesus was alive, for they had seen him with their own eyes. Only 2 days before, they'd never dreamed there could be such happiness. Yet here they were, sharing the glorious news of Jesus' resurrection. Later on, they would hear how Jesus had appeared to the other women, to Peter and the other disciples, and to his friends on the way to Emmaus. But for Timothy and Nathan, now it was enough just to know that Jesus was alive and that they had seen him. Yes, boys and girls, Jesus did rise from the dead, and he is alive right now today. The Bible doesn't tell us anything about a boy named Timothy or Nathan. We just made them up. But the rest of the story is true. The story about Jesus' triumphant entry, his crucifixion, his burial, and his resurrection. Have you ever wished you could have lived in Jesus' time? Do you ever wish you could have talked to him and seen him? I have. And although our story is just an attempt at pretending you were there on that first Easter, I hope it makes you want to read more and more about the Lord Jesus and get to know him better as you think of all the things he's done for you. Why don't you stop and do that right now, today? And I'm praying that you will thank the Lord Jesus for dying for you and ask him to come in and live in your heart.
Kiss